We are recording, and as per tradition, the first words people will hear is that, and then me saying something about my notes, because that's the only way I can get anything done is by having a lot of notes. As usual, when you arrive in the studio for the Triple Press Productions, Olaf is seated at his desk. Today he is wearing just a simple suit, currently studiously writing down some notes on his note cards using what looks like a teal pen and some sort of teal gel ink. As you look around and make your way to your seat, you'll notice that there's some sort of like glitter or something in the ink based on what's reflecting back from the light.
It sounds like a glitter pen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Olaf, of course, will motion for you to take a seat, and then after a moment, the production team will come in and do their thing, count you in, and all that craziness. Um, and then he begins his little spiel. Welcome back, Mech fans. Week 9, the Melee round, continues with another wonderful bout between two of our top contenders in the league. Now, all day today, we have been watching these iron behemoths pummel each other with their fists and feet, and at the end of it, we will have our final standings of the regular season and the beginnings of our brackets for the postseason championship playoffs. Before we get into it, of course, we need to mumble a few words for our various sponsors. I am Olaf Krieg, and this is the Triple Press, brought to you by the Donegal Broadcasting Corporation, the Solaris Broadcasting Company, and of course, Krieg Dominion Media, bringing you all the news, match summaries, and interviews for some of the hottest Battle Mech competitions around ever since 3022. As I just mentioned, both teams in our next match are serious powerhouses in the slowly shifting tides of the leaderboard, with our home team having taken a drastic turnaround this season from where they were in all previous seasons. Under new management and, some definitely must agree, better leadership, the Lyran Debutantes have blazed a new trail upward ever since the arrival of Baron Isaac Weissman. Currently ranked number 2 in the league after their blistering defeat of the Canopian Honeybees last week, the Debutantes now sit with 6 wins and 2 losses, but some analysts are saying that this match will be no easy challenge for them. Facing off against the Debutantes are former champions and the league's current leaders, the Marik Industrialists. Ever since week 3 in the nigh infamous Grasshopper round, the Industrialists have held the top position, and while many attempts have been made, none have so far been able to unseat them. They are the top contender right now going into the postseason, holding 6 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw, and a resounding lead in cumulative victory points, a 14-point gap between them and the Debutantes. With the Melee round offering additional points, however, this gap could close to a much slimmer margin, or none at all, by the end of the day. Joining me, of course, is none other than the good Baron himself, Isaac Weissman. Baron, how are you this fine day?
Olaf, always pleasure to be here. As before, thank you very much for the very warm welcome. Looking forward to another great round, a great final round to the competition before we move into the playoffs. It's been a fantastic 9 weeks, and I'm looking forward to seeing this one out.
Indeed, and it's been a wonderful 9 weeks for the Lyran team as well, coming from effectively dead last, the bottom of the pile, and now sitting right at the very cusp. All you have to do now is unseat the Industrialists, and it could be yours. Of course, going into the championship playoffs, you'll have to make your way through some more stuff, but if there was a team to do it, Debutantes are definitely one of them.
Look, I sat with the Debutante shareholders this week, and we had a very serious conversation about what we expected out of this round. Certainly, one suggestion that was put forward was if there was a round to tank it and take a loss, this would be it. I mean, it probably wouldn't really change our standings that much. We'd still be going through to the playoffs, and it would reduce the risk greatly of losing some of our best pilots. But at the end, sense won through, and with our team now sitting with a possibility of taking out the points phase of the competition and going into the playoffs in first, it would be a shame to give anything but our best in this final round. And so that was the call that was made, was that we as every week we go out there to win.
Indeed, and some would say if you're not going to show up to play, then why show up at all?
Yeah.
Now, my dear Baron, and you'll have to pardon me here as I break the fourth wall and channel some Dune, I really must say, 10 weeks ago, had someone told me that the Debutantes would be a major threat and a solid option for someone to bet on winning the 3025 Trinity Cup Championship, frankly, I'd have told them to saw it off. And yet, here we are. Your team is almost literally killing it out there. Morale and cohesion is up. The Devs are ranked number 2 with their 6-2 record. Your pilots are dominating on the kill boards. What I need to know is what is your secret? What is it that you've done with your team that your predecessor, the late Anton Fisher, couldn't or didn't do?
I spent a lot of time analyzing matches, our matches, other matches. As you said before, I've tried to predict as accurately as possible what mechs I think that my opponent might bring out, and therefore plan my strategy around that. Obviously, the situation on the ground is always going to change, but as they say, failing to plan is planning to fail. So
I
for
have
me,
heard
that's
that
really been
phrase
what it
before.
is.
I may have used
Yeah.
it once or twice in my own production meetings around here. Uh, with that, before I move on to my next question, any prediction on what the Industrialists might field against you tonight?
Well, it's a tough one, and always, especially when you've got a team like the Industrials, which have a lot of money backing them too, they could quite easily go and purchase some other mechs to make up the change. But the way I see it, they either come out there with the Atlas, one of the Hunchback or Star Slayer, and then probably the Jenna, or they do the heavy light path, bring out the Flashman and the Thunderbolt with the Jenna as well. Or alternatively, they go the heavy medium path and bring out probably the Flashman, Hunchback, Star Slayer. But once again, the Industrialists have had a great advantage with those Star League equipped mechs like the Star Slayer. An advantage which doesn't really play out tonight because it doesn't play other than having a little bit more armor thanks to the lighter structure. There is no real advantage to their Star League era mechs unless they decide to go ballistic and start to utilize
Go
their ranged
ballistic is
weapons.
certainly one way to phrase it.
Yeah. So I think that we've got a strategy around focusing on the round the way it's meant to be played. I think that my mech selection tonight is built around that. If the Industrialists decide they don't want if they're in first place and they need the bonus points, they might open up arms early. That could quickly change the mathematics of how this game could go. But once again, I've come out there to play the game the way that the fans want to see it in melee round.
Interesting, indeed. Speaking of the melee round, over the last few weeks, ever since the melee round has been openly discussed amongst the pilots and even the league of officials, there's been a large number of complaints or concerns. It seems as though the melee round isn't a well liked change to the normal stand up, shoot 'em down style matches. Now, it's my understanding that you yourself have actually welcomed this as the change in pace, or excuse me, as the change in pace it's intended to be. Yet we remain curious as to your thoughts. What, in your opinion, is it about a melee action only round that some are so openly opposed to?
Look, I think that there are people out there who know how this sport works, and they play the sport to the best of the ability. And anytime you bring in rules changes or novelties that are variations from how the sport is meant to be played, people get upset about that. I come in here realizing that what we're doing here is entertainment. It is sports entertainment. It's combat sports entertainment. What's
It is
important
the
is
finest
that
combat sports
if
entertainment.
if, if we didn't have the crowds, we wouldn't have the league. And so making sure that the league officials are always keeping things fresh. They're introducing new ways to shake things up. And you have a competition here where, as we've seen with the Wolverines, sometimes, a team just cannot get ahead. They fall behind, and playing the game as pure stand-up gunfights every time is always going to hurt those teams which have fallen on bad times. And then look at this week. We saw the Golden Suns go down. We saw the Dragon Board go down because of the novelty of the round. And I think that's what the fans want to see. They don't want to see a foregone conclusion where, the top team just walks all over the bottom team once again. They want to see some difference. And I think that's what things like the melee round give them.
That's an interesting viewpoint. And as my question was semi-phrased, the change of pace that it's intended to be, and you're exactly right. And we're spoiling a little bit of what's happened earlier today, of course, with the results of the two previous matches. But it is fair to say that those two big teams taking the big losses that they have taken already today is a good indication of maybe this is something that we should keep, not necessarily melee round specifically, but the idea of changing things up from time to time, every so often, throwing out a novelty item, as it were. Uh, but yes, definitely some big shockers earlier today. But We'll of course talk more about that when we do our weekly match summaries. This is, of course, the final week of regular season competition. How each team's points stand at the end of this week will determine where everyone enters the postseason championship playoffs. As it stands right now, before the start of this week's matches, your team is looking at starting off against the winner of a match between the Wolverines and the opposition. Certainly, neither team has been a threat of any sort to you during the regular season, but as the postseason means much more to each team out there, if this were to be the case, when the playoffs begin, what are your thoughts? Obviously, things can change with these final standings by the end of today. But if the playoffs were to start right now, what sort of plans or concerns might you have knowing you'd be facing again either the Wolverines or the opposition? And also, is this a good starting point for the playoffs for your team, or do you feel facing another team would be a better option?
Well, first off, let me point out too, the opposition beat us in the first round. So
Mm.
there's always the threat that we might have another incident like that where we lost a mech very early on to an ammo explosion. We couldn't quite take out their Phoenix Hawk. It was that didn't go our way. So
Seems like that was
look, to be
so many
honest,
months ago at this point. It was only a few weeks ago, but regardless.
Um, but personally, if I had to face one of the two again, I would like to face the Wolverines again. Not because the opposition beat me last time, but because I think that for these teams that are growing up, more games is better than fewer games. I'd love to see the Wolverines make the playoffs in their first year, even if it's through this back end wildcard draw. Because I think that they're a fantastic team that is trying their hardest in a very difficult league to break into. So yeah, out of the two, I'd love to see the Wolverines go, but I'd happily face the opposition again. If it went the other way, if we were facing then the playoff between the Spirits and the Nationals, I think is probably the other back end match. Is
I
that
think the
correct?
Crows, but
Oh, the Crows,
yeah,
Crows and
I'm
Nationals.
here, but I got to go AFK for half a second. But I'm
Okay,
here.
okay. I would say that out of those two, once again, I'd like to face either of those two teams again. So I wish all the small teams the best of luck going into the playoff round. I'd love to see them all back again. If you're talking, you are on mute right now.
I am. I forgot I muted myself. These damn producers, I can't keep my equipment working. The one cool thing about the playoffs, of course, is the way that they're structured. That the four bottom teams do kind of have to go through a qualifier of sorts in order to enter the playoffs proper. But I think the four teams that we're looking at currently, as my memory serves off the top of my head, of course, we have the Wolverines in the opposition, and we have the Crows, and I believe it's either the Nationals or some other team that I just cannot possibly think of right this second.
Spirits,
The Spirits,
spirits maybe.
possibly, yes. But this does give them a chance to keep a round, or there's an analogy or saying here, I can't think of it, but keep something in the game for themselves. Although we have heard that the Wolverines may not be around next season, but we'll see how things shake out. Obviously, in the postseason, if the Wolverines get a sudden uptick, they may be coming back next year. Who knows? At any rate, that is what we have for now. I'm being told that the mechs are moving out onto what looks like possibly a difficult map for maneuver, but at any rate, the match is about to begin. I have like 6 words trying to come out at once because I really wanted to call James a son of a bitch for picking this map, but we'll hold off on the reveal for that in just a moment. Huh? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm being told because I'm borrowing my friend's car that I have to stay within the speed limit while passing through school zones. I won't say why. Although it should be pretty obvious. All right. Enough fourth wall breaks and slippage there. My That was my neighbor slash family friend bringing up the key for his car because he finally got home from doing what he was doing. At
Very
any
nice.
rate, James, that was a good interview, except for where I lost my own way towards the end there.
All good.
Oh, hell, my ex is calling me. Give me just a moment here.
All right. Because what Omar hasn't told you is that I picked Heavy Woods 2 was our match today, which is predominantly heavy and light woods. So even if someone did want to shoot, they're going to have very limited range options.
Okay, sorry about that. It's
That's all right.
you know how it is when you got kids around and you can't just shuffle them off into the other room.
I was talking to the audience in your absence.
Oh, well, that's good because right now they're just staring at a screen of Mega Mech and nothing on it. All right, we've concluded the interview, so that means we need to move on to the next part, which is first me finding the right page to be on. Midweek events. I've already added the free experience point that each pilot and tech has. I also updated, per our conversation earlier today, Clift to have natural aptitude pilot.
Yep.
I have that on my roster. I have not added it to the MUL, so when that comes up here in a moment, we'll have to make that adjustment. But no big deal there. For you, you have elected recruiting and training for your two midweek events. You have no modifiers to either one from my notes here. So when you're ready, go ahead and give me that 2d6 for recruiting.
Okay, recruitment is
An
total of 11.
Holy shit. We're going to spend the next 5 minutes creating a new player. Let's see. Everything good? Hold on. My kid just brought my phone back. Okay. Let's see. On 11, I need you to roll a... Let's see. Why did I do this?
I don't know.
I did not... Oh, you get a pilot and a technician, and they're both going to be the same skill level based on this roll here. At least that's the way the rules are written. So 1d3.
1d3.
I'm sorry, I said that wrong because I was
1d6?
looking at the 1d6. I was looking at where it says 1 through 3. It's a green.
That's a 2. So it's green.
Right. So you'll get a green pilot and a green technician to add to your roster. Yep. Should you elect to hire them, of course. Let me pull up your roster now. I won't give them names because you came up with some pretty good looking names for the handful of people that you needed to replace. Or not replace, but so insert.
So here's a fluff question for you.
Sure.
What if could I hold these recruiting spots to see if any green pilots are dismissed from the Wolverines if they don't renew next year, and I'll offer them contracts with the debutantes.
I will tell you that there is a very specific. I'm being a little catty. So
okay, that's fine.
The official answer is absolutely. If you choose you want to go that route, we can figure out if there's any green pilots in the Wolverines. I can also tell you that if you want to use some of the people that are in the Wolverines, let's say their draft farm, you know how like major baseball teams will have their minor league equivalent that they pull from. Yep. If this minor league BattleTech thing has a farm team to pull from, it would be a certain page in a certain book that may or may not have the words Operation Klondike in it. And I think you can draw the rest of the line that I'm sketching there for you.
Yep.
Although you'll have to be careful of which names to not use because they've already been used.
Yep.
All right. I do need... Give me a 1d6 twice. This will be for experience points for the pilot and the tech.
Okay, so we've got a 6 and a 2.
6 for the pilot and a 2 for the tech. So let me put 6 in here. And then the tech. 2. That's where I'm... Really crazy here. Let's see. AT. That's not what I'm... Everybody watching the video right now is going to see how I do some of my borders and stuff. Okay. Oh.
So I'm going to say that so I've been trying to get a new tech for ages because my hard limit on battle mechs is the fact that I don't want to leave any mechs unmaintained. So I can only have as many mechs as I have techs. So I didn't care what skill level I got, as long as I got a new tech, that means I can now add a new mech to my roster as well.
Gotcha. I got to yell for my kid. Bear with me. You good back there? What the hell was that? Was it the cat? It's easy to blame the cat if you want to. Okay. Something fell in the other room, and I can't
Oh
tell what it
yes.
was. So I was trying to. I may not have been the best parent ever when I was encouraging him to blame the cat. All right, that is recruiting. Those two are added in, and now a 2d6 roll for training, if you would,
Training.
please.
I only have 5. That's nothing.
Unfortunately, but better than the negative result that you could have gotten.
Yeah.
All right. The industrialists will also be doing training, and I got a total of a 6. That's a bummer. All right. Well, now is the time to see which of your predictive models was the most accurate. Go ahead and give me a 2d6 plus 1. For gathering intelligence, you get a
Total of
9.
9. Yeah.
And for gathering intelligence and a 9, that is the mech chassis and weight. Your opponents are bringing out the Flashman, the Thunderbolt, and the Alt Scout.
Okay.
The Jenner was busted
Oscar.
still.
I'm a big fan of the Oscar actually. So
And if I am not mistaken off the top of my head, the OTT 7J is the only mech I have on this match that can
jump
jump,
capable. Yeah.
which is going to be a problem for me. uh any changes that you would like to make before we
No,
do the
I'm
review?
good. Thank you. Yeah.
Or the reveal, I should say. All right, in that case, there is your people and my people. I have assigned you yours.
All right. I'll fix up Cliff's.
Yes. And since you have already chosen the west, I will have to choose the east, which is problematic because, as I recall, it's not going to be easy terrain to get through.
Uh, Beauty is 2-1 with a initiative. Yep. All right. I believe everything looks correct.
All right. I
I
do
think
have
I'm done.
about 500 battle value on, but that won't make any difference once people see what this map looks like.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, you saw a brief glimpse there, but you're going to get a better view here now. I am officially hosed for maneuverability here. And I know James did this shit on purpose.
I mean, I had 2 choices. It was this map or the volcano caldera map, where you would have had to walk through lava hexes to get to me.
Yeah, which would have been a literal slow death before I get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Yes, James specifically chose this map because he has a stadium. Which, by the way, did you ever designate a name for the?
I don't think I've ever named it. No.
I think you'll want to do that. I mean, for
Okay.
for fluff reasons, you'll want to put
Yeah.
a name on it eventually.
Yeah. Like, I'm hoping that one day it could become the Skylar Davian Memorial Stadium.
Hammer, I'm not the only one trolling you now, brother. You're on your own. That was good, James. That was really good. Oh man, the Skylar Hawk and Davian Memorial Stadium. Amazing. Amazing. What do we got? Is this level 4?
No, we don't have sensors on any of these mechs.
I may not have actually activated sensors. Or not sensor. Enabled the whatchamacallit for it.
Okay. It's gonna be very hard to do then for both of us. I think if we can't see each other the whole time.
I have one mech that can jump. I'm looking for high ground. Eventually I'm going to find you, James. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I found one.
All right.
This could be an inconclusive match, is what I'm coming up with. And I didn't make my my secret squirrely shooty roll. So, oh well. I don't think the Mariks would really want to shoot. I think the Mariks are trying to get as many points as they can just to keep people from getting closer. They say it's lonely at the top, James. But you don't want to, even if you want companionship, you don't want people getting in your way if you're competing all the time. I'm sure that makes sense
True.
somewhere, somehow, but I think I blumbered through it. Not that we have any mechs in physical range right now, but do be mindful of how many times you click the done button.
Yes, I've been watching. I've seen that mistake happen once.
I did it, if I'm not mistaken. No, Darius did. I might have actually myself. Now that I think about it, I don't remember.
Mm.
I remember looking at the initiative, but I didn't even bother to look which mech of mine
Yeah,
was
I
moving
know.
first or last.
I also forgot that.
I know this is not the ideal answer for what I just did, but is yeah, that's what I thought. Well, it seems to me that the initiative round favored me in a favorable manner, in that your jumpy mech moves before my jumpy mech.
Yeah.
Although two of your mechs are definitely jumpies. I don't think the guillotine is. Oh, it is.
Yeah, all my jump.
I had a feeling you were going to do all jumpies once I saw Heavy Forest 2, but I couldn't remember if the guillotine was one of them that could. Oop, yeah, I almost clicked the wrong buttons there. All right. Oh, we got a head hit getting re-rolled. The guillotine kicks, hits, re-rolls to the right arm. Both punches hit on the Flashman's attacks. Phoenix Hawk misses, but the Ust Scout kicks. So let me see. Flashman takes hits. Guillotine takes hits.
Phoenix Hawk takes its.
Phoenix Hawk takes hits. That's it. And everybody is still standing. Of course, heat is currently not a problem. Oh, that's not good. And it's my fast guy moving first, too. Not sure if I'm going to get any good returns on those two moves, but I say this. Either he'll be able to do something to that guillotine, or he's going to jump away, and I will have minimized his threat. So now I have a Phoenix Hawk munching on my ankles. Guillotine DFAing my O Scout. That's going to be akin to. Oh, this is going to be rough. This is going to be akin to a Highlander burial. If I'm not mistaken, I can't melee the guillotine either.
I think you can.
Well, we'll find out here in a moment. No, I can't because I don't have any melee option. I was not able to do anything to my to any of my mechs. They were all out of melee action. So the the Ulster Scout takes damage. Let's see. We did get a punch in on the Flashman, but no biggie. Oh, the Ulster Scout losing its oof. How did the Ulster Scout have only 0 edge? Everybody starts with 2. Did he re-roll edge somewhere and I missed it?
Not sure, maybe. Yeah.
Flashman re-rolled. Unless I input only 1 point of edge. I'm not gonna stop the match because of that, but it's a little weird. Oh well. Everybody's still standing, it looks like. Round 4. 96-6 to 96-5. I have such a minuscule lead on you right now, James.
Yeah.
What to do here?
What
Not having
indeed?
not having initiative is really not helping me any. Rush? Yeah, losing initiative is not helping me. Once again, I was left with limited options. Now I have to make sure I try not to laugh out loud or speak too loudly because the sun is now officially in bed. And now the cat. God damn it. All right. Punch the Flash Man. The O Scout misses the DFA, falls over, and I believe it displaced the Phoenix Hawk. Oh, we got internal structure on the O Scout. Shocker, because that thing is like basically wet toilet paper. Bitch. My cat is not a fan of a door being closed. Although this should not be much of a surprise for anybody that's ever had a cat. Flashman, once again, doing the dance of where the shit can I go to not be a problem and also to be effective.
Where can you go with your limited movement because you can't jump from standing up?
Yeah,
Still got 9 though. You've still got quite a distance.
not really. These woods are slowing me down.
And the
Oh,
height
yeah,
differences too.
yeah. That may not have been the best. I cannot get out of jump range of your. Actually, I can. Yeah, that was the only way I could go to get out of jump range of your guillotine. Damn it, James. All right, I got to remember during the firing phase, I need to turn the all scout a little bit. Oh, this is the firing. Okay. Oh my God, this cat. Yep, I forgot I needed to turn the flash man as well. Oh well. Okay. Let's see what we have here, because things did not go well for the Industrialists on this round. First, we have the All Scout missing a punch. The Phoenix Hawk punching the Flashman. No biggie so far. Thunderbolt kicking the Phoenix Hawk. Guillotine literally kicking the leg out from under the Oath Scout. You big bully, James. And then we have the Wolverine hitting with a DFA, a head hit, re-rolled, and then the pilot takes another hit somehow. Oh, because then the damage
Yeah,
spreads into the head again, and he has no edge.
yeah.
Wonderful. Copeland is injured. Flashman falls over. Scout falls over. Perkty is also injured now. Wolverine standing, the Phoenix Hawk standing, and I have a cat that I need to go deal with, so give me just a quick moment.
All right. Ah, so wait a minute. Around 5. Got 5 rounds to go. Flashman's going to be hard to take out. The Thunderbolt's going to be really hard to take out. It's got so much armor. Unless I can get in there and get that juicy ammo. But I think that I don't think in 10 rounds this is going to go to a 25%. I think it's going to be a Mega Mech draw, which may not be enough points to get me over the line with the first place. We'll have to wait and see. Will I lose any of my really good pilots?
James
Because the
already
next
over
best.
here planning to count for losing pilots to the draft.
Well, my next bet, once I lose a pilot, the next best I have is a 4-4 after this. So,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, the way based on the way the match is going right this second, going into now round 6, it's a good
I,
possibility I'm not going to win.
well, the problem is I lost all the initiative this round.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
Yes, you did. But I have one mech that's crippled,
yeah.
though it's a light mech, so it's not a terribly huge loss. This cat will not stop meowing outside my kid's door. Tried to distract him, but because I don't want to keep the show held up while I play with this cat, I might as well have just left him alone. Nice. The only one that could probably get in range and do something to that Phoenix Hawk is the Oath Scout with one leg.
Yeah, you've only got one movement point too, so you can only stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I think I just stay where I am.
All right. I need an 11 to eject safely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Look at that. Clift gets another kill. Nope, 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 nope. That poor Wolverine got cut off over there. Uh, let's see what we got here. All right, Wolverine taking internal structure. I saw more. We'll get to that in a
Yeah,
second.
lost a leg.
Yeah, so that Wolverine is crippled now. Let's see. Wolverine falls over. Bui takes an injury. We'll see what Grimdark James does with that Wolverine. Your Phoenix Hawk is moving last, though, which
Yeah.
is a little scary. Round 7, 81 to 84, favoring the debutantes right now. The Wolverine stands up. He's ready for more. You know, I had a moment of wondering how I was going to do things to the to the debutantes because of the age-old rivalry hatred between the Mariks and the Lyrans. I think destroying this Wolverine will make up for anything I might have had planned otherwise. Let's see. Flashman takes a little bit of damage there. Nothing he can't handle. Wolverine takes a bunch more damage and loses a heat sink. Those aren't important right now unless we start shooting at each other. But the mechs are all still standing. The Phoenix Hawk attempted a kick.
I missed.
I
Hitting a
must
fireball
have.
at 3.
I thought the Phoenix Hawk wasn't going to be able to get that close. I must have miscounted my hexes. And again, oh, that's wonderful. My pilot gets to move last. Trying to think what can I do? What should I do? I guess is the more important question.
He fell over.
What's that?
He fell over.
Oh.
That's right. He's out of there though. So
Oh, is he attempting to well he's out of the scuffle if not the match.
yeah.
And I've already committed my flashman, so the best I'm gonna be able to do is a torso twist. If I remember. That's the crucial part right there. James is going to win this match not because he was a better player, but because I couldn't remember to make one small facing change. Yep, there it is. The question mark fell over. Look at that. The first guy, and I remembered just in time because I was just talking about it. All right, James, destroy my mechs, I suppose. Oof. I I feel like I should apologize. Let's see. Flashman takes a couple hits.
Oh, it's all to the leg that had their armor on it.
Flashman takes a few hits. The Phoenix Hawk takes internal structure. And then the Thunderbolt takes a solid kick, losing 3. Oh no, I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
No,
Two,
that's Thunderbolt. Yeah, two
two,
criticals on there.
two. What you call it? So that's going to be heavy damage on the guillotine, and that's going to cause problems for that guillotine's mobility.
Yeah.
Moving now into round, I believe 9.
Yep.
Yes, round 9. And I fucking clicked too fast. I was not paying attention to the. Oh, of course, both my mechs move, and then my pilot moves absolutely last. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking hopeful. Okay, well, I guess we'll just turn and stand and face our enemy, who will then jump behind us. You know you want to do it, James. You know you want to jump right behind my 2 mechs just so you can kick them in the ass. And then have the Wolverine come around for shits and giggles. Oh, nice. Putting the Phoenix Hawk where I can't even get to him. I guess I should have seen that coming. Oh, fuck me. Do you remember what I said last round about forgetting torso twisting?
Yeah.
Yeah, guess what I forgot to do?
Yeah.
Oh, the Flashman losing critical slots now.
I can't fall over, will you?
No. Who do I have the Flashman? Oh, I have a 1-1 pilot with 1 injury. Let's see. Flashman, Guillotine takes a hit. Flashman. Final round, James. Technically, you are in the lead. And you are somehow keeping your crippled mech in action by keeping him out of the action. Oh, man. I don't even know which way to turn my mechs anymore. I really don't. Fighting like hell to get something of a victory here.
You activated my trap card.
Yeah, that's okay. DFA the Thunderbolt.
No, it's not that. It's the fact that the guillotine's got all its armor at the top. It's like all it's taken so far as leg hits. So kick me in the body all you want.
Yeah, but let me see. There is still that juicy head location that I could get. I believe I'm a level above. Yep, I can still get you in the face. That's all I need.
Pretty sure it's still got edge.
Damn you, Edge. Let's see. Don't think twisting is going to help me here. What do we got? 2. Oop. Flashman taking internal
Ah,
structure.
couldn't take your leg off.
Yeah. I already got in heavy damage there. Guillotine takes the hit. Phoenix Hawk misses, and I believe that is it.
That's it, yeah.
All right. We have a draw, as according to Megamac. So that will be 2 victory points each. You did get a light met kill for 1 point plus 3 for the bonus, giving you a total of 6-2, I believe, is the final score because you never officially surrendered what should have been surrendered, but I'm not going to call you out on that. I'm sorry, I'm being a snarky ass.
Yeah.
It's actually we'll call it a somewhat dubious call to make, but it worked for you.
Yep.
Let's see. So yeah, final score 6-2. Debutantes win. I am very disappointed in that, but you know, I believe that's actually going to put you just above the. Oh, you might be tied for first. We'll have to see how these points end up at the end. But it looks like you're looking like you're going to gain cumulative 16.
And they'll gain 2.
And they'll gain 2. So I think that's going to tie them, but we'll see when I actually input all the numbers at the end there. Let's see. Victory points. Let's do fan rolls. I believe that's next, yeah. Victory points. Yep. And then the fan rolls. And let's see how many pilots James loses. And I don't say that to be rude or anything. That's the realistic option here.
Fan roll a 9.
Give me just a moment. I need to get to the right page. All right. You have, at this point, +1 for winning. Physical attack kills. So that's actually going to be a +5, +6. No, I take that back. That last kill or kick or whatever it was on the off scout, was that just a kick or a punch?
It was a last one was a kick.
Okay, so it was just a
So
regular.
kicked his leg off.
Okay.
Then you ejected.
Yep. Okay. So that'll be just a +3 then between your win and the physical attack, and then you have 1 for every 2, so that's a total of +6. You are losing. Oh no, this is fan roll. Shit. I don't know why I got fan and draft confused. The process is very similar. That's why. You gain 4 fans. James, you also need to make. Nope, not 4 fans. 5 fans because you have a +1 fan. For some reason, sponsorship of some sort, and you have a +2, but it doesn't change the final number. I do need a 2d6 roll for you for additional monies from your stadiums.
Yep, 9.
Nice. So that'll be a +9 to your wealth. Let's write that in here. All right. I think I got all that right. +2 on the fan roll, but you already had a ridiculously high number. So you've only gotten +4. You got the +1 fan on top of that from your sponsorship, for a total of +5 fans. For the Industrialists, we get whoops. Forgot to double check which window was active before I started typing. 2d6 roll. We get an 11. That's impressive. -1 for losing, +2 for a physical kill, total of +1. No streaks because we just had our win streak broken. So total of 12. That means +4 fans.
So I did check. If we were 14 difference, which means we'd be on the same 92.
Yeah.
So, but I would like to point out that I will have 7 wins to their 6 wins. So
this is true. So when it comes time for the brackets, I guess the League of Officials will have to have several hours of deliberation before they come up with that answer on their own. We're going to mark the Debutantes as first place because they have more wins than the number 2 team, the Marik Industrialists. Also, they have a bigger pocketbook. They'll probably sound just like that when they have their official announcement. Anyways, I gained 4 fans. Wealth, 6 6 and 2 is 8 plus 10 for the winning team. You're going to gain 18 for match winnings. I am going to gain 8 for my match winnings. And now it's time to input stuff onto the spreadsheets. The thing that everybody watches every video for. They don't even watch the matches anymore, James. Would you believe that? I'm totally bullshitting. All right, so 76 plus 6 is 82, plus 2 is 92. You gained 5 fans, taking you up to 38. You already have your super secret squirrely roll thing. That's not the button I wanted. That's it. So, match earnings, 18. Other stadium. 9. Fan income, 24. Wow, it's almost like you didn't bother to spend all that money on a stadium. You're fucking rich. I feel like I got to add something though. Got the fans. I got the monies. Okay, I did it right then. Mariks, they have lost. They gain 2 points and are now at 92, and they still managed to get 4 fans out of all that, taking them up to 49 fans. So into the finances, they earn 8 wealth. Fan income is 30. They currently have more money than the debutantes, but we haven't added up all the expenses yet, which is next after the draft. So let's do the draft, and then we get onto the right page in the rules. All right, James, this will start with you. 2d6 plus 1 for winning, and another plus 2 because you are on a 3+ win streak. So that'll be a plus 3 total.
So 8 total.
8 total. You're going to possibly... No, you're not. On an 8, nobody is drafted from your team. You have dodged a silver bullet, my friend.
Yeah. We'll see how long it lasts in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's... Well, if you lose your first match, it'll be real easy.
Yeah.
Sorry. I am super sarcastic today. It's been one of those days, you know? All right, I have a 2d6, minus 1 for losing, no streaks. So it's just a straight 2d6, and I also rolled an 8, and will not be losing anyone, so yay. Now we talk about expenses, starting with the debutantes having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mechs with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 techs. 3 went to the field. That means minus 3 for maintenance. For the industrialists, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mechs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 techs. 3 went to the field. 1 is still under repair, so that's only going to be minus 4. So it'll be minus 4. Oops. Maintenance instead of 5. What is next? Salaries. This is easy. Industrialists, since we're already there. 2 for all the greens and regs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Minus 9 for salaries. For the debutantes. 2 for all the greens and regs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Minus 8 for salaries. And now for the biggie. Repair costs. Let's see what we got here. For your guillotine, heavy damage, heavy mech, that is 6. Wolverine, crippled medium, also a 6. Phoenix Hawk, moderate damage, medium mech, 3, for a total of 15 for repairs and minus 1 for medical.
I have to get my 5 back though from my sponsorship.
Yeah, I'll add that in when I get in there, into the spreadsheet. For the Mariks, we have...
That's our most expensive repair bill since week 3.
I thought so too, but you also got like 1 mech was crippled and 1 was heavily damaged. You haven't had a lot of that lately. Your techs are gonna be like, wait, what happened? You were supposed to win, right? No, mate. The Industrialists are a little bit tougher than you might think they are. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to impersonate you necessarily. I'm gonna shut up now. I'm going to hell. I might as well just shut up. Okay. 3 on top of their heavy. So that's a total of 9 for that Flashman. Thunderbolt, surprisingly, did not take any damage. And then the O Scout, crippled, light mech, 4. That is a total of 13 for their repairs. -2 for medical because 2 of their pilots got hit. They also have the -5 maintenance repair coverage. All right, who are we on? Industrialists, -13. -2. Repair cost reduction 5. And then for the Debutantes, -15. -1. And 5. All right. Costs added up. I think it's time for the actual repair rolls. It is. Starting with James, the winning team, and your tech specialist. You don't have tech specialists. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know.
I got confused. My bad. Your guillotine will need a 3+ with 4 total attempts. Got it
First
on
one.
the first
Got it.
one. Wolverine needs a 4 with a total of 4 attempts. 1, 2, 3.
Got it.
And your Phoenix Hawk needs a 3 with a total of 3 attempts.
Got it.
All right. For the Mariks, 1d6. Can copy that. I need a 2+. Oh, wait, Tech Specialist. Is Tech Specialist the one with 2 dice, or is it +1? It's the +1. It's natural aptitude.
It's natural aptitude tech.
Yeah.
2 dice, take the best, yeah.
I have it written here, but then I remembered that I actually reduced the number written because I keep a track on what the different repair rolls would be.
Yep.
And these are different because the one. So I need 2, 4 attempts. Got it on the first one. Thunderbolt doesn't need any. The Alt Scout, not that anybody cares about it because it's a shitty mech, needs a 4+ with 3 attempts. 1, 2. Got it. See that pause? You had to put that pause in there so the computer actually thinks of a different number. I do have a Jenner that needs to repair. I have a 4+, 3 total attempts. Got it. So let me go into the Mariks, fix that mech that was busted up. That's what I want. Okay, all mechs are repaired. And then I gotta do experience points. Let me add 1 for each of your people. We'll do the debutantes here. Alright. Clift gets 3, taking her up to 5. And that is after spending points for the natural aptitude pilot, plus the 1 for the week, and then plus the match. Grand total there is 5. James. It's 2, also to 5. And then Hartlieb gets 2. Up to 8. Tex. Baronelli gets 2, up to 3. Tearaway gets 2, up to 5. And Yilmans gets 2, up to 12. Save that. Minimize. Pull up the Mariks. And for the first time, I'm only adding 1s to the Mariks for the first time in several weeks. Let's see. Copeland gets 1, up to 3. Zhao gets 1, up to 4. Kirkty gets 1, up to 3. And then for the Tex, Zappo gets 1, up to 7. Risotto gets 1, up to 6. Radicano, that's it, 9. And that is that. Now we go to back into the interview room in the studio, and we have Olaf, who I'm trying to remember. Was Olaf a big fan of the Industrialists? I feel like he was, only because Rasselhag is not appropriately represented here. But yeah, let me double check my James. Can I hear you?
Yeah, you can be fine.
Okay, good. I couldn't tell if I needed to check my mic or not, or my headset. Yeah. So we come back, and I think Olaf has favored the Industrialists for such a long time. They are a good team, and so he's a little, I don't want to say disappointed, but definitely because on the other hand, he's also come to appreciate what Weissman is bringing to the table for the debutantes. So probably got a little bit of mixed emotions on his face. But either way, Isaac, what an amazing match. You stayed literally one step ahead of them the entire match. Positioning, as they say, location, location, location. You nailed it. And you came away with a victory. And your Wolverine lost a leg, but managed to technically, legally stay in the fight, so the Merrick's never gained any points. I think you guys are
Yeah,
tied now.
I was hoping for a more decisive victory for sure. I unfortunately let two of my Mets get led away by that fleeing off scout. Um, no, I think I mean look, that Flashman was very close to losing a leg, but losing a leg is not losing a mech.
This is true.
So yeah, and what's more is that thanks to the kick fest, I the pilots really couldn't throw that many DFAs towards the end there because they're at risk of breaking their own legs off in the process. Certainly the guillotine was down to very light structure on one of its legs, so another DFA would have certainly caused that mech to lose balance. But overall, happy with how the team did. I think that I'm happy with my decision about how to deploy within the stadium.
I'm sure.
And
I'm,
I think
Go
it
ahead.
asked some questions the Industrialists didn't have answers for, unfortunately.
That definitely is one way to phrase it. I think the industrialists were not expecting the heavily wooded terrain that your landscaping crew has put into place. I keep looking at the wrong screen here, so bear with me. uh, it's just like any other person on live TV doesn't know which camera to look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Merrics definitely were not expecting such close terrain, such difficult terrain to maneuver through for what ultimately is a very, very close range, or some could say knife fighting range matchup. And I have been told that the industrialists were very strongly considering using weapons, lasers and missiles and whatnot. But for whatever reason, the team decided that, from what I've been told anyway, that they were going to focus more on getting the bonus points in order to further increase the gap, or at least maintain as much of a gap as possible.
Oh, good on the Industrialist manager for making that call. Look, I'm disappointed that the Oscar didn't do better. I'm a big fan, and I guess credit to the Mareks for making such a great group of mechs. I was a big fan of the Oscar. I'd even considered actually bringing in an Ostrock for this match, an Ostrock and a guillotine and a Jenner was my other potential option, or potentially a grasshopper that I was trying to steer away from ammo builds. But no, I'm a fan of the Ost series mechs, and I wish the Ost Scout had done a bit better. But I guess that the match fell where it did.
Indeed, some of these things have random outcomes, and sometimes luck doesn't go your way. But Perksy is a known pilot in the team. They've been here for several years now. Putting Perksy in that Scout versus possibly the Jenner that I imagine Perksy might have been in was an interesting call, but of course the Jenner was on the still on the mend, as it were. But the Elf Scout is it could easily become an annoyance, and I think that was the intent. But of course, with the restrictive terrain, it definitely limited the options for what that Scout mech
Yeah.
could do.
Look, sometimes you can roll a couple of dice, see what happens, or roll three dice, take the best two in some cases.
We're like this close to breaking the fourth wall. It's so funny. I'm sorry. I'm trying to stay in character. I can't help it. Uh, he said roll three and take the best two. That fucked me up, James. That fucked me up. Well, Baron, you are currently tied for first place, it looks like. Now, granted, these results are not official yet. The League of Officials will have to review after the entire day's worth of matches to make their final call. But, unofficially at this point, it looks like you and the Industrialists are now officially tied moving into the playoffs. We'll see what that does and how that shakes out when it comes time for the bracket announcement sometime after probably after tomorrow or the next day. At any
So
rate,
let me just work
go
it
ahead.
out. So there's the maximum points for this round is 10 points for taking it. Sorry, 7 points for taking out your opponent's mechs,
Mm-hmm.
plus a further 9 points if they were all via melee kills. That's 16, plus an extra 10 points for the winning without using any range weapons. That's a total of 26 points. So that means I think nobody that has not yet played. So even the Science Spirits with 26 points would put them onto 70. So it looks like let me congratulate my opponent tonight, because the two of us, I think, come what may, will end round 9 at the top of the bracket.
Indeed, it looks that way.
With a few matches still to play, but I think that's a foregone conclusion. So congratulations to the Industrialist manager and to the whole team as well, of course, for all their efforts.
I will certainly convey that to whoever the manager team captain is, because I cannot remember their name and it's on the spreadsheet, but I can't remember. At any rate, Baron, anything else you would like to leave with for our fans here on Solaris and, of course, out there in the rest of the Inner Sphere and the periphery?
Oh, look, I think in some way I'm looking forward to a week off while the preliminary round is done. I'll be interested to see how the various teams go there. But I'm looking forward to being back for the first round of the playoffs. Hope to do well. Let me ask you, Olaf, do you know if the league gives the higher placed team the stadium advantage, or is it randomly determined who's the home game?
It's funny you mentioned that. I actually had a conversation with one of the League of Official members not that long ago. And when you look at the bracket, if you go with the top team being the home team and the bottom team being the away team, it's not very fair for roughly half of the league. Because no matter where you are, where you start, that pretty much determines where you're always going to be the either the home or away.
Otherwise you do a quarter semi final swap. So in the semis, the high ranked team is the away team.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's something that the league of officials have identified, if they have not yet addressed it. But I do expect some sort of announcement in that regard sometime in the coming, well, presumably before before the oh my God, quarterfinals, because for the preliminary teams that could make a minor difference depending on. Actually, it probably won't, because I don't think any of the preliminary teams have a stadium, and there is one or two stadiums left. I think there's one left. I think we have four teams with stadiums, and there was only five to begin with.
I'm just wondering whether I should start asking my groundskeepers to start preparing anything in particular.
Well,
We need to, we need to
as you,
plan some buildings.
I believe you mentioned earlier, fail to plan means you're planning to fail. So perhaps start planning now. You have plenty
Oh,
of
no,
time.
I've already got a few three configurations in mind, but of course they are, once again, they are quite opponent dependent.
This is true. This is true. It would not do well to throw more trees at the Mariks if you were to face them next week again. For instance, they may have decided to bring more energy-based weapons to cause problems for line of sight.
Yes.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think the conversation kind of makes its way and the lights come back up. And I think, James, I'm not going to lie to you, I certainly had considered in a counter trolley way to burn your fucking trees down. It wouldn't have done me any damn good, but I was already kind of struggling with line of sight anyway. So,
Yep.
But yeah, that was. I think I probably could have done better overall, but I think given what I had, going against what I was going against, and with the terrain I had, I think I did pretty well.
You certainly had the advantage in terms of total armor. It's obviously a melee battle is a question of weight versus armor.
Yeah.
So you had both the weight advantage and the armor advantage. But I had the sneaky bastard advantage.
Yeah, you did. I believe other terms were used when we talked about this before in other venues, but
yes. Out of interest, you said that you ran a trial game with the bot. How'd that one go?
not well.
Yeah?
I believe I did the first round. The Mariks didn't shoot to represent something close to what could happen.
Okay.
Uh,
But the bot would have fired on my behalf, though. I'm assuming
it,
would
it
have
would
definitely
have. It
would
would have fired immediately.
have.
And I ended up losing that match. I don't remember particulars at this point, but I think at least one mech was completely removed, and the other two, if they were not removed, they were definitely very well damaged. Uh, I don't think we went the full 10 rounds either.
Yeah.
I think it was definitely. I think it was a pretty sure it was a decisive victory on your behalf.
Yeah.
So
But not scoring high enough points to equal first place. I needed to go all melee to have a chance of
you
getting into
did.
first place. And I mentioned that when you stepped away, at one point took your headphones off, I said to the crowd, like, this is what I need to do to have a chance of getting in front of the industrialists.
I think if you had won the match in Mega Mech, that would have made the difference.
Even
Because
another one more mech if I take out one more mech, but I mean at the end of the day, it's hard to melee out heavy mechs.
yeah,
So yeah.
I didn't know what you were gonna bring because I always plan the NPC teams first before
Yep.
roughly the same time as I do the scheduling and whatnot. Um, I didn't know what you were gonna bring, and I figured my only good option to be safe and cover all the bases as best I could was do two heavies and a light.
Yep.
Not knowing what you were planning or going to do, certainly did not think of what you might do for restrictive or even destructive terrain. Agma, you son of a bitch.
Hey, it's in the stadium.
Hey,
I've got the little caldera ready to go.
I saw that too, and I was like, oh, you mother, oh man. Well, all right, James, I'm gonna have to tip my hat to you on that one. You got me. uh, well, either way, good match. Congratulations on making it to unofficially, but obviously officially because we're the ones playing as all parties here. Number one team right here going into the playoffs. Because as you pointed out, it is a fair and valid thing to consider that you do have the 7-2 versus my 6-2-1.
Yeah.
So if anything, if there was any sort of tiebreaker, that's it right there. You've got the number one position, even if we're tied on points.
Yeah.
So congratulations. I held it for a very long time. I suppose if I'm gonna lose it to somebody, there's probably nobody better to lose it to than you, and that really sounded campy as fuck. But all right, James, anything for our viewers before we end the stream, or not the stream, but the recording?
No, I mean, come check out Omar and I also playing on Blood Bowl, and also we need to have a chat about sorting out this Star Wars game as
Yeah,
well. Have a go at
yeah. I
Star
feel like you and
FFG
I have
Star
like
Wars.
3 topics to discuss right now.
Yeah.
uh, all right. Well, my friends, we are going to wrap it. We have two more matches coming. One featuring the Dover Crows, the other one featuring the Nationals, and I'm gonna say the opposition off the top of my head. That match will be streamed live. I am looking at doing that on week are we on? Either the 13th or the 14th. I haven't made up my mind just yet. It's probably if I do it, it's gonna be on the 13th though. Probably not the 14th, but we'll see what else is going
Have you
on.
got Talos scheduled yet?
I have not. I need to actually punch him in the face, not as a father to a son, because that would be incredibly wrong. Just as one grown man to another, because he's dodged me a couple of times. Because I've messaged him 2 or 3 separate times. This is actually being recorded, so I probably should watch what I say. But I've messaged him like 2 or 3 separate times, and he's responded in the affirmative that yes, we need to do this, etc., etc., etc. But I can't actually get him to sit his ass down in a seat and do this. So I gotta. That's actually on my list for tomorrow evening. I think I'm just gonna stalk him until he gives me an answer.
Nice.
But yes, the other match, the 2 NPC teams will be on the 13th, most likely. If not, it'll be on the 14th. I'll stream that live, twitch.tv/Omar Krieg, and then that by that point, hopefully have the pros match scheduled, maybe even recorded. What?
Well, my advice to you as a fellow father is just to start turning up at all his stuff, like when he goes out with his friends or when he goes to work
Oh,
and
that
embarrass
was
him.
actually one of my plans was
Yeah.
to hang out in his
Yeah.
Discord. I've actually been meaning to do that because I've been kind of not hanging out with my kids, with those kids, as much as I should be. Been tied up with everything else. But at any rate, so then we have stuff coming on. So of course Monday we are in the end game phase for Celeste, Crown of the Magister. Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific. We have, of course, Along the Frontier. I always feel like I'm saying Frontier wrong, but I don't know why. An Alien RPG campaign featuring Kane DeMille, Rodance, Luke Labs, the Canopian Honeybees coach, is in that as well. So come check us out. And of course, all these videos are all over the place on my YouTube channel, so definitely check that out as well. In the meantime, be safe out there, my friends. This world is a crazy dark place. Make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. As for me and mine, we're out of here. Have a good one,
No
my
guts, no
friends.
galaxy.
What's that?
No guts, no galaxy.
Indeed. Indeed. No guts, no galaxy. Also, we have cookies. I'm sure those two items are somewhat tangentially connected. I don't know.